Hello aspirants, welcome back to another exciting episode of Current Connect series where we bridge the gap between you and the ever-evolving world of current affairs. Today, we are shifting our focus to the realm of environmental ecology, diving into the most significant developments that took place in the month of June. So, let's get into the details. The first topic is on an oceanic phenomenon, that is the Indian Ocean Dipole or IOD, and the well-known phenomena of El Nino. Now picture this, the vast expanse of Indian Ocean, which is a dynamic and complex system that influences weather patterns, rainfall distribution, and even the climate around it, isn't it? Let's start with El Nino, which is a climate phenomenon that originates in the Pacific Ocean. When warmer than usual sea surface temperatures occur in the central and eastern Pacific, they disrupt the normal weather pattern, which lead to droughts, floods, and other extreme conditions worldwide, right? Now let's talk about the Indian Ocean Dipole or the IOD. The Indian Ocean has temperature variation across its vastness as we discussed. The IOD is defined by the difference in the sea surface temperature between its eastern and western sides. This temperature difference has a significant impact on our weather and the climate. The connection between these two phenomena, that is the El Nino and the IOD, lies in their complex interplay. During an El Nino event, cooler than normal waters in the Western Pacific can lead to cooler water in the Indian Ocean, which triggers a positive IOD. Conversely, during a La Nina event, warmer waters in the Western Pacific can lead to a negative IOD. And these interactions create a change of atmospheric circulation, which impact rainfall patterns along the coast of Africa and the Indian subcontinent. It's important to note that while El Nino events can trigger IODs, local circulation within the Indian Ocean can also independently cause IODs, right? And the impact of IODs may not be as intense as El Nino events, but they still hold a significant influence on the regional weather pattern and climate worldwide. And this is an important topic for the prelims purpose, and questions has been asked many times in various exams conducted by UPSC. So this is an important topic. Moving on, we are discussing a rather unexpected phenomenon, that is the cyclones in the Arabian Sea. So the Arabian Sea, which is usually known for its tranquil waters, has recently become a hotspot for cyclonic activity, which defies the traditional expectations. First, let's talk about the cyclone Biparjoy, which was originally headed towards the Pakistan coastline, but then took a surprising turn towards the northern coast of Gujarat in India. This uncommon trajectory has raised concerns as cyclonic events or cyclones in the Arabian Sea typically steer away from the Indian coast. So what makes this situation even more interesting is a recent study that reveals a 52% increase in the frequency of these cyclonic storms in the Arabian Sea during the year 2001 to 2019. And this shift in cyclone pattern has rendered India's western coast more vulnerable to their impact, isn't it? Now the question is, what's behind this surge in cyclone events in the Arabian Sea? So the scientists attribute it to a combination of factors. One major factor is the warming of both sea surface and the deeper waters in the Arabian Sea. These warmer conditions provide a favorable condition for cyclones to form and intensify and potentially maintaining their strength for a longer period of time, right? And another contributor to this phenomenon is the increasing frequency of the El Nino Modoki phenomenon. These climatic events create a warm and moist condition in the central Pacific while inducing dry and cold condition in the eastern and the western Pacific. And this unique mix of conditions create an environment conducive to form cyclones over the Arabian Sea region. So, the Arabian Sea's transformation serves a reminder of the delicate balance that governs our environment, isn't it? Next up, the recent release of Water, Ice, Society and Ecosystems, or the WISE report by the International Center for Integrated Mountain Development or ICI-MOD outlines the challenges that Hindu Kush Himalaya region is facing due to climate change. So what exactly is ICI-MOD? It is an intergovernmental organization which was formed in 1983, dedicated to addressing climate and environmental risk, which also promotes green economies and fosters sustainable actions across the globe. With Afghanistan, Bangladesh, Bhutan, China, India, Myanmar, Nepal and Pakistan as its member, ICI-MOD plays a crucial role in advancing our understanding of the mountain ecosystem. So what does this WISE report reveal about the state of the Hindu Kush Himalaya? One of the standout findings is that at the alarming rate at which the glaciers are disappearing. In the 2010s, glaciers in the region melted 65% faster than the previous decade. And this unsettling trend is deeply linked to the global warming and its consequences. The report predicts that if the global warming reaches 1.5 degrees Celsius to 2 degrees Celsius by 2100, these glaciers could lose 30% to 50% of their volume compared to the 2015 level. And the impact on water security is also concerning. As glaciers melt, glacier melting accelerates, the region is approaching a critical point known as peak water. This stage is expected to arrive around the mid-century in most river basins of the Hindu-Kush Himalaya. And unfortunately, it does not signify an abundance in water. Instead, it represents the point where fresh snow water from the glacier melt will be at its highest before gradually declining. And also, the floods, landslides, avalanches, and the glacial lake outburst floods, or the GLOFs, are projected to increase in frequency and intensity over coming decades. And in fact, the risk of GLOFs is expected to triple across the Hindu-Kush Himalaya by the end of 21st century. If you know, the Hindu-Kush Himalaya stretches over the 3,500 kilometers from Afghanistan to Myanmar and holds the largest volume of ice on Earth outside the polar region. It's often referred to as the water towers of Asia. So that's all about the Hindu-Kush mountain and the WISE report. Moving on the World Environmental Day 2023 on June 30, the Center for Science and Environment, or the CSE, raised a red flag about the rising ozone pollution and the multi-pollutant crisis in Delhi. According to a recent analysis by the CSE, the ground level ozone pollutants in parts of Delhi NCR region was at its lowest in 2023 compared to the last 5 years. Now, ground level ozone should ideally become negligible during night. But interestingly, Delhi NCR region seeing a rare phenomena where ozone levels stay elevated even after the sunsets, right? But what exactly is ground level ozone? It is often referred to as a tropospheric ozone, and it's a colorless yet highly irritating gas that forms near the Earth's surface within about 2 miles above the ground. And interestingly, it does not directly come out of any source. Instead, it's a secondary pollutant which born from a chemical interaction between the nitrogen oxides, or the NOx, and the volatile organic compounds under the sunlight. The NOx and the VOCs are emitted from vehicular sources, power plants, factories, and various combustible sources such as the woods and crop burning. And these compounds engage in a photochemical reaction in the presence of sunlight, which result in the creation of ground level ozone. And interestingly, ground level ozone concentration tend to peak on warm days when low humidity coincides with the stagnant wind patterns, right? So that sums up our discussion on the ground level ozone. Moving on, recently the Indian Institute of Technology Kanpur, IIT Kanpur, successfully conducted a test flight for cloud seeding. But what exactly is cloud seeding and why does it hold such significance? So imagine having the power to create artificial rain. That's the magic of cloud seeding. So rainfall, as you know, occurs when moisture in the air reaches a saturation point, which results in condensation and precipitation. Cloud seeding is all about accelerating this process by introducing specific chemical particles known as the nuclei that provide a surface for condensation to occur around, right? And it's a carefully calculated process that requires pre-existing clouds in the atmosphere. Now, there are two primary methods. One is shooting the particles into the sky using large cannons, and other is releasing particles from airplanes flying above the clouds. It's important to note that the cloud seeding involves the release of specific chemicals into the atmosphere that triggers the condensation. And common chemicals used include the silver iodide, dry ice, potassium iodide, etc. And these chemicals serve as a nuclei around which the water droplets form, which eventually leads to rainfall. And the recent IIT Kanpur experiment, known as the Cloud Aerosol Interaction and Precipitation Enhancement Experiment, used the airplane-based method of cloud seeding. And this experiment was carried out over Solapur region of Maharashtra. Now let's talk about the remarkable benefits of cloud seeding. First and foremost, it plays a vital role in drought management. And as per the IMD, 87% of the India's districts are vulnerable to droughts. So cloud seeding offers a hope by enhancing the rainfall in the drought-affected regions, right? And another fascinating application is the mitigation of fog in the airports. During the foggy seasons, cloud seeding can significantly improve visibility, which can aid flights in their safe takeoffs and landings, right? And according to the Indian State of Forest Report 2021, over 1/3 of India's forest cover is prone to forest fires, and cloud seeding can bring rain to these fire-prone regions, reducing the risk of devastation. So, That is all about the cloud seeding process and its benefit. Next topic is on the sustainable architecture with a focus on LEED rating system. So imagine buildings that are not only beautifully designed, but also environmentally conscious, energy efficient, and cost saving. That's where the leadership in energy and environment design, or LEED, comes into play. It's not just a rating system, it's a framework for creating healthier and more efficient and sustainable greener buildings. It was developed by the US Green Building Council, and the LEED rating system has become a global symbol of sustainability and excellence. It recognizes buildings across 4 certification levels. First one is certified, then silver, then gold, and then platinum. In India, the LEED India program is managed by the Indian Green Building Council, or the IGBC. And what's truly remarkable is that India has outshined even the global giants like US and China in LEED net zero certifications. And these certifications acknowledge projects that achieve net zero or net positive status in areas like carbon, energy, water, or waste. And also leading the way in this revolution are the states like Haryana, Tamil Nadu, which set an inspiring example for others to follow. On a global scale, India's DLF group secured the top spot in the total LEED Zero certifications. India has also championed its own sustainable architecture movement through the Green Rating for Integrated Habitat Assessment, or GRIHA. This indigenous rating system was jointly developed by the Energy and Resources Institute, or the TERI Institute, along with the Ministry of New and Renewable Energy. GRIHA employs a 5-star rating system and provides a certification that remains valid for 5 years. So, with initiatives like LEED and GRIHA, India is carving a greener, more sustainable future that harmonizes the modern living with well-being of our planet. Right? Moving on, next topic is on Green Credit Program, or GCP implementation rules of 2023, which was introduced by the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change under the Environment Protection Act of 1986. The concept behind the Green Credit, or GC, is truly innovative. A GC is a singular unit of incentive provided for specific activities that generate a positive impact on the environment. The primary objective of the GCP are twofold. First is to create a market-based mechanism for awarding green credits to various stakeholders, and second is to ignite a mass movement focused on environment-positive actions in alignment with the vision of Mission Life, or Lifestyle for Environment. They are tradable outcomes that will find their place on a domestic market platforms, and the administration of this program rests in the hands of Indian Council of Forestry Research and Education. Their role includes not only to implement this program, but also the managing the GCP and monitoring its progress, right? And by introducing the Green Credit Program, India is embracing a competitive market-based approach to incentivize and reward voluntary environmental actions across various sectors. And this approach seamlessly aligns with the Article 6 of Paris Agreement, which encourages the carbon trading through market mechanism, right? So that sums up our discussion on topics related to environment and ecology. Now let's solve certain previous year questions from these topics. The first question says, with reference to Indian Ocean dipole, sometimes mentioned in the news while forecasting Indian monsoon, which of the following statements is or are correct? IOD phenomena is characterized by a difference in sea surface temperature between tropical Western Indian Ocean and tropical Eastern Pacific Ocean. An IOD phenomena can influence an El Niño's impact on the monsoon. Select the correct course. So as we discussed, the IOD is the difference in sea surface temperature between two poles. Hence, it is called a dipole. That is an eastern pole in the Eastern Indian Ocean, and which is towards the south of Indonesia, and western pole in the Arabian Sea, not in the Pacific Ocean, right? So statement 1 is not correct. It is incorrect. And the negative IOD events are often associated with La Nina and positive events with El Nino. So option 2 is the correct answer. Only 2 is correct. Next question says, consider the following: carbon monoxide, methane, ozone, sulfur dioxide. Which of the above are released into the atmosphere due to the burning of crop or biomass residue? Okay, so let's check one by one. Carbon monoxide is a colorless, odorless gas that is produced when carbon-containing fuels, including biomass, are incompletely burned. So 1 is correct. Methane is also a potent greenhouse gas that is released during the decomposition of organic matter, including crop and biomass residue. So methane is also correct. Then ozone. This ozone is particularly talking about the ground level ozone that we have just discussed. While ozone is not directly released during the burning of the crops and biomass residue, pollutants emitted during such burning, such as the VOCs and the NOx, react in the atmosphere and lead to the formation of ground level ozone. So this can also happen. So ozone is also true, and SO2, the sulfur dioxide, is also released into the atmosphere when fuels containing sulfur, such as certain biomass material, are burned, right? And while biomass residue generally contains lower sulfur content compared to the fossil fuels, the burning of biomass can still release some amount of sulfur dioxide into the atmosphere. So in conclusion, the burning of crop and biomass residue can lead to the release of all four gases. So option D is correct. And that brings us to the end of this episode of Current Connect. We hope this episode has provided you with valuable insights and knowledge about these crucial matters. Stay tuned for more updates in our next episode of Current Connect, where we will keep you informed about the latest development in diverse fields. Thank you for joining us today, and until next time, stay curious and keep exploring the world around you.